Hello to anyone who stumbled across this video. My name's Eric, and today I thought it'd be fun to go through all of my clay things I created throughout the past few years. I have an Etsy shop which I opened in 2021, but I've been creating seriously with polymer clay since about 2020. As a kid, I remember watching these little clay charm videos where people would reveal all the stuff they've created, and I've always thought it was such a fun little idea, so I wanted to do that with all the things I've created. Now, these aren't going to be in any particular order, as I just have a bucket full of my stuff and I'm just going to pull out and see what I got. So for the first thing, I don't really remember how far in I made this one. This was supposed to be when I was testing out figurine ideas, and it's just this girl that I tried making. Originally, when I started my Etsy shop, I was going to do like mystery figures, but then I ended up not doing that. And so this is just one of the designs I tested. I couldn't make eyes with clay very well, so I tried to paint them on, and that turned out horribly. Next, we have an ornament that I just recently made. It's this girl right here. I got the paint. I'm not very good at painting and keeping it even, so I kind of got it on her dress. So there's this one here. And then you can hang her up as an ornament if you'd like. I have this girl right here who's also an ornament, kind of more of a flat back ornament. I also made a ton of these clay cupids, which I also painted the eyes on. I made about, I think, 7 of them, and then I put some in my shop. Next, we have these 3 little charms. This one's supposed to be like a sunset. This one, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of tried some things out. And this one's basically more of a Christmas type. Next, I made this little gingerbread hooded girl. I have this little flat back cotton candy mouse, which I actually have I think 6 more on my Etsy shop, which I can link in the description below if you want to check that out. This is a newer mermaid I made. She's just a purple pink mermaid, and I tried testing out some new features with her, like the black beads in the eye. Don't ask me what this is. It's supposed to be a jelly roll monster, but it looks so bad. I was just creating for fun and trying to do like the roll of like the colors to make a swirl. Now, this was one of the first things I ever made, and I actually glazed her with like a Duraclear gloss varnish, and for some reason it made her turn like all like foggy looking and white. So I don't know why it did that, but it never did that for the other ones I glazed, which not all of them are glazed. Another figurine I tried to make was this one here. This one has clay eyes, which I didn't end up making any more of these because I didn't like how I really did this one. We have another flat back doll, except this one's not made to be an ornament because there's no eye pin in the head. I think when I made this one, I actually forgot to put the eye pin in. Here's an older mermaid I made. It's supposed to be a cotton candy mermaid. I made this little banana pudding girl figurine. Not really figurine, more of an ornament. I made this leprechaun, which I made about 6 more as well, I believe, which I took them down from my Etsy shop, just like the Cupid, because they were more outdated and I didn't want to keep them up as much. I have this little cookie magnet. I don't know why I made this. It was just a test of trying to see how I can do magnets. Here's another little magnet. This is kind of just like a Candyland creature. I don't know specifically what it's supposed to be. I just was literally going off of nothing and just kind of like creating with my mind. Don't know what this is. It's just another little charm I made. One of my first serious creations I made were these little elf girl ornaments as well, but I accidentally used translucent clay for the skin instead of like peach, so they kind of turned more like glass looking. Now, one of my main things I make on my Etsy shop are these little clay bears, which I'll get to my newer ones in a bit, but I want to show you my older ones. And then just a reminder, these are all my personal collections. When I create things, I typically make one for myself. That way, if I ever want to replicate it or make another one, I have one to go off of. So everything I make, pretty much, I have a version of it. So these are my older bears I created. This is a little ribbon bear. And as you can see, I did not mold the back at all, because these are like when I first started with clay. So I also have this little strawberry shortcake bear. You'll see my newer bears. I made this one, actually, I revamped this one 2 different times. I'll show you the second one I did, and then there's a third one. I'll show you those in a second. I'll just let you know. I have this little St. Patrick's Day bear holding a pot of gold. This one probably is my least favorite I made of the bears. I don't know, I just feel like I could have done a lot better. Here's a little bear holding a pineapple. It's supposed to be more of like a summery tropical theme. This is the cupcake bear. And then this is my little Valentine's Day bear for my Valentine's Day set when I first opened my shop. Now I'll get into the second version of my bears, because I basically have 3 versions. So that was the first version. Here's the second version of how I did my designs. These ones are like the newer ones, but they're a lot smaller. And so this is like a little breakfast bear. You'll see him in a bit. This one's supposed to be a banana pudding little dessert bear, but I didn't like the yellow I used for this one. It looked too yellowy. Now here's the strawberry shortcake bear I created. This one's a revamp of this one here. So as you can see, the improvement. This was a little s'mores girl. I tried to make her into a figurine, and you'll see my other figurines in a second with base plates, but this one I couldn't get a base plate on, so I ended up just keeping her like this. My first ever figurine was this one, the Valentine's Day girl. She can stand, but it's not very stable because I used clay for the base plate instead of like acrylic base plates. Then I had this New Year's guy. He's like a partier who says 2021. I have a St. Patrick's Day girl, which I actually did sell one of these on my Etsy shop. I made an ornament of the New Year's boy just in case anyone wanted an ornament. I have this little chibi ornament girl, still when I was trying to find my my art style. And then I have this little gingerbread guy here. Another one of my art styles I was trying to figure out was this little lemon girl. I was trying to decide if I wanted to make people like this or, you know, I didn't know a style yet. As you can see, I have all these different types of versions of people, and I haven't really decided my thing yet. This is a little similar to the cotton candy mouse, but this one's, I call it like the peanut butter mice because it just has peanut butter colors to it. But I had this one on my shop, but I took it down when I revamped my shop, so maybe I'll put it back up. And then for this bucket, I have these two little flatback charms. They were for Valentine's Day. This is a guy holding a heart balloon, and then this is just the Valentine's Day colored girl. Now I'd like to show you my newer things, so I'm just going to clean up my table, and then I'll show you the newer figurines I made. I have this little peppermint bear. This was a revamp of the Valentine's Day bear I showed you before. This time it has a glittery heart, and it's more of the bigger style. Now we're going to get into the real third generation of my bears. This is a new version of the breakfast bear. Don't mind the crack on his head. That's because I didn't cure the clay right, so it cracked. Unfortunately, that's why I kept this one for myself, just because right after baking it cracked in the oven. We have this version of the strawberry shortcake bear. So this is really the generations of the bears and how they went. As you can see, the first one here, the second one, and then the third one here. I just love to recreate these ones so much. One of my favorite type of bears I have is this little peach bear. I have two of these on my Etsy shop right now. This was a new version of the banana pudding bear. As you can see, it's a different type of yellow, which I like much better. Next, we have this little s'mores bear here. He's one of the cutest ones, I believe. This one here is not on my shop. It's just when I was testing out like designs for Valentine's Day, but I missed the mark for it, so I didn't make any more of them. But in the future, I might make some more of these. Then I was trying to do the same style, but for bears, but with a cow. And so I made this little strawberry cow, though I didn't put any strawberry features on it. So if I make some more of these for my shop, I'd definitely do that. And finally, for my last few things, I'm going to show you my figurines that I actually ended up making into this certain design. So first I have this girl here, and I put her on acrylic base plate. I also made this little lemon version. One of my favorite figurines is the Plum Pudding Prince. He is a Christmas one I did. And I'm going to have one of him on my shop, which I'm going to be listing later today. I have this little Valentine's Day girl. She's supposed to be a remake of the one Valentine's Day girl I showed earlier. St. Patrick's Day girl. Then there's this little party goer. I didn't really know a certain design. I just kind of went ahead and did it. We have this one here. And then one of my other favorites is this little bunny here. Finally, I have this Halloween one I made. I have another one of him I need to put on my shop as well. But there's that one. And there you have it. The collection of all the clay things I created just for my personal self. These are the bears I'm selling on my Etsy shop right now. If you want to check it out, you can purchase one of these right here. And for those of you who stuck around to the end of the video, I appreciate you so much for watching. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. More to come soon. Bye.